Inability to discern other better ideas, and then perhaps coupled with an environment that punishes those who do,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you have shitty ideas, you do need to reinforce that other ideas are bad. If you're a group that's trying to enforce the shitty ideas, like communism.
Oh, yeah, exactly. If you're the one who's peddling the bad ideas, you can't allow for critical thinking. You can't allow for debate. There's no place in it if you're just wanting to peddle bad ideas.
The problem is that everyone has their own compass on what is a good idea and what is a bad idea.
Exactly. And so what I'm saying is that my claim is the more agreeable you are, and if you're perhaps hyper agreeable, the more likely it is for you to adopt some extremely morally reprehensible ideals and to do some horrible things so to maintain one's status in the in-group.
Do you think obtaining the status is the motivator?
Just like being in the in-group, surviving, is the ultimate motivator, that the primal motivator that is present, I would say.
Yeah, people want to be accepted. You want to be a part of a group, part of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no matter what that is the shitty thing. And because I think sanity is this very, very subjective thing, that sanity is whatever the people at the time determine it to be. And because of that, hyper agreeability can take especially an isolated population or extremely pressured population can take that and decide on their own accord what this new bubble of sanity is.
What's sanity?
Exactly. It's I would say it's the the unconscious consensus.
The unconscious consensus?
Yeah.
I like that.
Of what?
Of what is acceptable, and what we deem to be okay.
But that's very much culture related. That's very related to the surrounding community.
I feel like that's just an aspect, though, because you could have a sane person. You could have a person who's sane who's just lived up in the mountains, away from people.
Who determines if someone's sane? Is it the person? Is it the person themselves, or is it the people around them?
I would call sanity the ability to function and live within your world. It's just like being sane would be the ability to function and live within your world, as in you can feed yourself, you can get money if you need it, you can get water if you need it, you can get shelter if you need it, you can take care of your bathroom needs when you need it.
Okay, but now something, you were fine until the other day, and some crazy rabid dog bit your leg and you had to get it amputated, right? And you can no longer do any of those things, but you're sane, right?
Well, yeah, but you're still, that would be implying that people who are amputated have no ability to take care of themselves.
Maybe not.
They do. They can function in their world.
When you guys think of someone who's lost their sanity, what comes to mind?
It's basically, for me, it's losing one of those faculties. You either lose the ability to take care of yourself, you're smearing poop on the walls, you're eating the poop, or you haven't eaten in 3 days, not due to like work stress or other mental deficiencies, but because you believe you've eaten, or you're wandering the street naked, things like that. So like some sort of, for me, it would be some sort of break in one of those abilities to function and live in a society, or in your world, in your wherever the hell you live.
So, Vicktor, going back to your question about some people being up in the mountains, there are secluded isolated populations, but they're populations of people. They help each other maintain sanity. You see.
Now it sounds like they help maintain each other, or they help each other maintain a society, not just sanity.
Well,
I feel like that's implying sanity exists outside of a person.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. I think sanity exists outside of a person. I think that task, the task of maintaining sanity, is too complex of a task for one individual to do on their own. And it is a requirement to have other people. Like, that's why people who are in like isolation and like solitary confinement, like, they literally go crazy.
Yeah, but those people also don't have access to other stimuli that they might like, such as books, nature, rocks, other things like that. Maybe they like to wood carve. They don't have access to that in solitary, so that could be a reason why they go crazy. Not just they don't have access to people.
Yeah, I'm not saying that every person that goes and lives up in the cabin of the woods gets cabin fever. I'm just saying that cabin fever is a thing, that is a phenomenon that exists.
No, that's fair. I would argue that sanity is within the individual.
Yes, correct. But like, in order for it to be a thing that exists, it takes years and years of construction to be developed and to be sound enough for an individual to go out into the woods and live by themselves. You have to be a person of character to be able to go out and do that, and it takes experience in being out with people to do that. It's not something that someone can do 100% alone by themselves.
Yeah, nobody can build a society. I think, or to metaphor hard, or to make an analogy, if you were to drop me in I get to live for 300 years, and you drop me in a forest or on a random planet, and I have to make a computer, I couldn't do it in 300 years. I would need people. I couldn't taste every single thing there and find out, even if I didn't die of things that were poisonous, I couldn't find everything and eat it and find out what is poisonous, what's not poisonous, what needs to be prepared in a certain way to make it not poisonous, or if you prepare this in a certain way, it will kill you. I couldn't do that in 300 years. I need people to do that. Yeah. Yeah,
but I would say 10 years of complete isolation is enough.
What does that prevent you from doing? Like, you said that you think that's enough to make you insane?
I think it prevents.
And so, what are they not able to do that they would be able to do in a society? Because maybe that'll get us our definition.
Differentiate sound ideas from not sound ideas.
Oh, so it's just the ability. So you're describing sanity as the ability to construct logic.
Correct. Like, the ability to imagine if, like, we would never ever talk to each other. Imagine, like, if we were to maintain the mentality of a 13-year-old and no one ever told you any better, and you just continued thinking that way. And if you just stewed in that mentality for 10 years, you would be a really, really, really warped version of that, because you have no one to tell you, no, that's actually wrong, and maybe you should abandon that thought. That's how, like, this is sort of how, like, conspiracy theories sort of kind of go up, because people, like, speak unedited and what's the word I'm looking for? Unchallenged, for long amounts of time, and they just continue down long, like, trains of thought, and they just never are challenged, and because of that, they come to these crazy conclusions, and they keep those conclusions to come to more new conclusions, and that just keeps going and going and going until you believe there are little people living in your brain, or something odd,